Bonjour Jérôme. Majed.
Bonjour et bienvenue au Club Marketing. Préférez-vous les instructions en français or would you prefer instructions in English?
English.
English, yeah. Each team has 20 minutes to present its case to the judges. The time is indicated on the timer as a countdown. I will also indicate the time remaining in posters. If you do not end your presentation after 20 minutes, it will be stopped to move on to the period of questions. The period of questions of a maximum duration of 5 minutes is assigned to the jury at the end of the presentation. I would like to remind each judge that it's mandatory to ask at least one question during this hearing. Please note that you cannot reveal the name or source of your university, as you may be disqualified. I would like to ask the public to turn off the ringing of their cell phones, and I will now invite the judges to introduce themselves. Et je vais maintenant laisser les juges se présenter à ce de présentation.
Audrey Perron-McHenry, Marketing Advisor at Metro.
Anthony Beatty, HR Business Partner at Firstone.
Hi, Jérôme Chouinard, District Manager from Financial Firstone.
Jean-Pierre Laporte, Brand Manager, Procter & Gamble.
So before we start the presentation today, I have to give you a little warning and an apology. I have been drinking Red Bull for the Guru actually for the past weekend. And, I might come across as a bit too energetic, but you can slow me down if it's been a long weekend. To start things off, I'm scared.
What are you scared of, Majed?
I'm scared that when I finish school and I start working, I'm going to get into a position where I need money and I don't know where to go. And as a young adult, I don't have many options, whether it's my friends or my families, which I don't really want to ask, or if it's the bank that I don't understand how they work and how they function. It's not an easy process, and there's no trust or relationship that I have with whoever I'm going to see. And they're going to lend me a big part of what I'm going to be living on. So I need something that's personalized and someone I can approach. And that's why we're here today. My name is Majed, and together with my colleagues William and Maria, we're Optake Consulting, and we're here to help you.
Avant de commencer la présentation, on voudrait juste vous aviser que la présentation va se faire en anglais. Mais si vous avez des questions en français, n'hésitez pas à les demander à la fin de la présentation. Donc, pour commencer, we came to us to suggest a marketing campaign to raise awareness for Fairstone on the national and local level. So there was 3 main key issues that we identified throughout the process. So first of all, there's a big distrust for non-bank lenders. That's something that came up over time. There's a lack of knowledge on the different lending options as well. So what does Fairstone offer? And finally, the specific targeting of near-prime lenders and good credit. So that age range is something that we have to keep in mind moving forward. So based on this mandate, we came up with this recommendation to launch an integrative marketing campaign focused on a personalized experience to raise awareness for one and trust second. So with this, our strategy and message throughout our implementation and throughout this presentation is really to make Fairstone a trustworthy partner that you can turn to when the unexpected happens. And with that, it's going to be all about when you need us most and hashtag the Fairstone Ferry. Let's get started.
So let's begin. What's happening in the industry? It's crucial to understand the environment of the ecosystem that you're in, to understand how you can build a proper base to move forward. So let's dig into that. Canadians are no longer skeptical about taking on debts. But there's one big issue here. They've taken on way too much debt. What this means, it means that they're willing to take on, to spend some more, but you have to be in the right place at the right moment when they want to spend the money. 2, they're less afraid to take on, especially for personal loans. There's a lack of trust for non-bank lenders, and that's where you are. And we'll bring this back in the implementation so you can see how you can build on trust with the consumers. There's also a lack of knowledge in the segmentation of non-bank lenders. So they're comparing you to an ad in the newspaper that doesn't really give them a lot of information, and it's a bit fishy. So you really want to distance yourself and really make sure that you're standing out as a trustworthy, reliable, and transparent company, which you are. What this means is that you must educate the consumers and increase trust levels, and we'll show you exactly how to do that when Maria and William take on the implementation. How can you be different? First, we wanted to identify your competition based on a credit score alternatives. First, when someone has an excellent credit score, they're going to go to the bank. So you're not targeting these people. You're targeting the people that have good to fair credit scoring. These are the people that will either go to their friends and family because the bank said no, or they'll go to the advertisement in the newspaper. What you really want to stand out here is you want to make sure that these people know you exist and you are as reliable as a bank with the proper resources and the proper aid that they're looking for. For fair and poor credit scoring, there's your competition, Mobile and Easy Financial, but you're ahead of them. You have an east-to-east coverage with an extremely good online presence, which we will leverage moving on. As far as it goes for the poor consumers, you don't want to really compete with the payday lenders. They have way too high of an interest rate, and they're competing in a different market, which you don't want to associate with. What all this means, it means that you need a personalized, involved, and easily accessible service to differentiate yourself from the others. Again, we'll bring this back in implementation. What is so special about your target market? We want to show you how can Fairstone alleviate stress and be always in the mind of consumers through every step of the way. Let's meet Bob. He's having a normal day, he's happy, he's not really thinking about any financial aid that he might need. But he also doesn't have any awareness about your amazing company or what you can bring to the table once he needs the money. So what happens to Bob? An incident happens. So he either has a leakage at home, or he has a car accident, or he's into financial distress. This is where he has extremely high stress level for two reasons. One, because of the incident, and two, because now he needs the money. He doesn't know where to go. And that's why he's going straight to the bank if he has a good credit score. Sometimes even if he doesn't have a good credit score, he's going to go to the bank because that's his #1 source. So what's really important is that you want to be available here before he goes to the bank, but what happens if he goes to the bank? Then the bank says no. And Bob is extremely angry now because he has an incident to deal with, and then the bank said no. What's the first place he's going to go to? Friends and family, or he'll open the newspaper and go to a fishy pay lender that will charge him extremely high interest rates. And that's where you can come in. Now let's take a look at Bob again and how you can alleviate some stress, which we'll bring forward. First, in a normal day, you need to increase awareness to make sure that you're always in his mind, so that when an incident happens, he's going to come to you. But if he's still going to go to the bank, and the bank says no, no problem, because you're going to be there for him. And that's exactly why we're here. Let's meet Bob again. He's late 20s to early 30s. He loves to travel and discover new places and experiences. He's on the go, which means he likes things instantly. So if you want to bring up a case study like Amazon, you order it, you get it the same day. So he likes stuff right away. And that's where you want to come in, you want to give him the service right away. He communicates online and on mobile. He also has a near premium and good credit scoring. So that's your target market. What all this means, it means that you need to engage with him online, attract him with experiential marketing, and build trust through personalization and direct relationship. And that's the theme of our presentation today. What do we love about you? You're responsible, trustworthy, and you're for the customer. And that's exactly what we want to push forward in the implementation when you're marketing yourself out there, so that consumers can really relate with that message. You have amazing employees, 1,400 to be exact, and you appreciate them with your employee appreciation program. That's your biggest asset. Your sales force will lead transformation moving forward. A nationwide coverage with existing brick and mortar stores that are working and a strong online presence, as well as an amazing local community aspect when you're sponsoring the soccer games, when you're going out to the community and really getting involved and putting your name out there. And that's something we'll bring back as well. But what all this means you need to leverage your employees and relationship with the communities to really build on trust. We also took a look at what your offering is, and we absolutely love it. We have some recommendations which is going to come back. First, we want to add new services to your product offering, as well as we want to increase promotion by amazing guerrilla ideas and experiential marketing, as well as some personalized selling, which we're so excited to bring you through. Now let's summarize. What have I said if you weren't listening? It happens, it's okay. First, you need to educate your consumers about Fairstone before they need the loan. Second, you need to create experiences and offer a personalized service to make sure you're attracting consumers the right way and the exact target market you're going after. And third, you really got to make sure you're leveraging your community involvement and assets that you have, which are the employees, to build on trust and make sure you're going the right way for a brighter future.
Thank you, Majed. Now, I haven't had a lot of guru today, so let's slow down and take a step back to listen to the alternatives we prepared to you today. Of course, based on everything my colleague Majed said, it was very importantly considered when finding a solution to the mandate we had. We're very happy to present to you.
Sorry about that.
Okay, so here, we're very happy to present to you 3 alternatives. Our first is an online-focused awareness campaign. We want to target your consumers online. The late 20-year-olds, early 30-year-olds are online as much as we are, and they are on their Facebook with Live. And Live is a tool we would use with our ferry. The ferry would be in the street interviewing people and asking them about their education, what they know about their financial situation, and handing out flyers. Now, the interesting thing here is we use geo-targeting. So if the ferry is in a street in your town, you might as well see her perhaps on the main strip or in streets in front of stores that you already know. So we think this tactic would be very interesting for your customers. Our second is our street team awareness growth. Now this is really focused on the street team and on an additional guerrilla marketing tactic. We will use staged broken-in cars, broken windows, and billboards on roofs as props to gather the attention of our customer. So the customer is going to see, for instance, a broken-in car on the street, and it's very confusing. They don't know why. There's a car, wheels missing, broken windows, the paint scratched off. And in the back window, we'd have a big sign, when you're unprepared, we're here for you. And so we use this tactic as well as our team to be in the streets distributing merchandise, Fairstone merchandise, to create more awareness about what we do. Third, this alternative we think could be a better alternative. It would use both online and in-street strategies, so we'd be distributing our efforts in two directions. We'd have a financial ferry mobile app. In this app, we'd be able to provide more information and help our customers educate themselves. And second, we create a Caring for Our Lenders post-purchase program to create more trust. We've seen that in this industry, trust is a big issue. So, in order to find the solution that fits better than the others, we created a decision matrix with three very important criteria. The first is to differentiate Fairstone brand from the bank and payday lenders. The second, to get involved in local communities. With 240 branches, this is a very big opportunity. You already have done so, and with our campaign, we love to continue in that direction. Third, to target both pre-incident and post-incident customers, like Bob, that Mash mentioned earlier. And as you can see from our points, we found that our online and street team, distributing our efforts in both directions, provided helped us in all the criteria that we chose for our decision.
So based on that, this brought us back to our full circle and back to our recommendation, which was to launch an integrated marketing campaign to hit each channel and really provide that personalized experience for your amazing customers and to raise awareness and that trust that you really do need in this phase. So Fairstone, the strategy that we really want to push through is that you're a trustworthy partner when the unexpected happens. And like I said, when you need us most, hashtag the Fairstone Fair. So let's look at our implementation at a glance. So the first phase is first 4 months, and it's all about knowledge. So you want to raise awareness about your brand. The second phase is from 4 to 9 months, and this is helping your consumers understand the different options that they actually have when considering financial loans or whatever it may be. And finally, trust. It's really about building that trust in store, in person, training your sales force to make sure that they're providing the utmost customer service. And that's going to also be through community participation. You've done it in the past, we're going to continue doing that. So like I said, how are we doing this? What channels are we using? It's going to be online, it's going to be mobile, in person, guerrilla, because we know you want some of that as well, in branch, and other, which we're going to talk about a little bit later. The main KPI overall, the key performance indicator that we're looking at, is the awareness reach. We want to increase it by 40%. So let's look into our first phase. Like we said, it's all about the knowledge, right? So we really want to raise awareness on Fairstone. So my colleague, William, mentioned this really great guerrilla tactics that we're also going to bring back. But first, we want to launch our Fairstone Ferry campaign. So imagine our ferry walking around the streets of Toronto, for example, asking people, well, what's the biggest burden on your mind right now? What's making you worry at night? What financial burdens are making you consider going to the bank and asking for a loan? Or going to that pay lender that's really making you worry? So she's going to be asking the people on the streets in major cities and really getting to know them personally. And she's going to be able to say, well, look, we've got this really great app coming out, so keep it in mind. But also, come visit us at Fairstone. We can really solve your issues. Second, we have our guerrilla marketing, which I'm going to expand on. But like William said, we can replicate those emergency pop-up situations in front of banks. So when Bob, for example, is leaving the bank and he had a horrible experience, he exits the bank and sees one of our emergency pop-ups, which is going to bring Fairstone to mind. Also use graffiti near banks as well, and any other competitors. Online, we want to continue using SEO and SEM and really maximize words like financial help for low credit ratings or low interest loans. For the bankers, if people are not being accepted at banks, we can talk to bankers and say, well, look, if you're not going to have them as a customer, we'd like to have them. So be sure to recommend them to us. And this is a really great recommendation process that will lead consumers straight to our door. And finally, videos. Having funny videos online of Fairstone Ferry, going up to people and asking them about their concerns is really going to create a buzz on the online community as well. So let's go into our guerrilla marketing. So Mash mentioned earlier the situation. You're Bob, you just lost your job, you don't have any money to pay for amazing gifts for your children, you're having struggles, your mortgage is coming up, payments are coming up, so you're going to the bank. You're asking for your loan and they reject you flat out. You don't have the credit score for it. You're depressed, you're sad, you're about to call your wife, you exit the bank, and right in front of you see this broken into car, and you're confused. Okay, what is this? So you go up to it, you're looking around, should I call the police? What is this? And as you notice, you see a sign. It says the Fairstone Ferry is there when emergency hits. So you're concerned, you're a little intrigued, you start looking up, what's the Fairstone Ferry? So once you do that, the Fairstone company comes up, and they're intrigued, they look at your resources, and they find you. And that's really important to just create a buzz, create the word out there, and basically just raise awareness is what you really want. So where is this going to be happening? How are we going to do this? It's happening in 5 major cities around Canada. So we're looking at Montreal, Toronto, Calgary, Vancouver, London, where your HQs are. And it's going to be, again, right near major banks, because you want to hit them right when they're rejected. So when is this happening? It's going to be happening for 2 months, from February to March. And who are we targeting? Clients who are leaving financial institutions and who got rejected. So let's go into phase 2. Phase 2 is really about our launch of our app. And here we're helping consumers understand their options. We're helping them understand how we can customize their experience. So the application, I'm going to go straight into it. It's the Financial Ferry. So this application is not necessarily an extension, well, it is an extension of your brand, but it's not going to be always about Fairstone. Anyone can use this app. It doesn't have to be a Fairstone client. So if you're in your mid-30s and you don't really know how to juggle your budget, you're really unorganized, you can download the app and start managing your monthly budget. You can input all the information that you need, and it's going to help you, notify you when you have payments coming up, notify you when you have payments coming in, and that way you can really keep track of your financials. If, by any chance, we notice that you're having struggles, we can send you a push notification saying, we see that you're running low, consider Fairstone. We've got really good interest rates that are going to fit your profile. And that way we can also target consumers in the range that we want. So it's all about collecting data on users, which is really important, providing a tool for them to budget and educate themselves, and then when we have their information, target them directly when they need the help. So, like I said, they can use this app for monthly budgets, education on different options. We can explain everything from interest rates to mortgages, whatever they need. We'll have a chatbot available 24/7 if they have frequently asked questions. They just have to plug them in and we'll answer them right away. They can close an appointment with a Fairstone advisor, so that's a great way to push into the customer service that Will's going to touch on, and push notifications. So like I said, once you're collecting data, you can reach those people instantly. Let's move into phase 3.
Thank you very much. That was a lot of information, and there's more to come. So, on our third phase, we focus on trust, and we know trust takes time, so let's get into it. We focus on 3 main pillars. Making use of we make local partners, such as real estate agents, home repair services, where we would find people in need of our services, and local online influencers. We have a referral program offering potential discounts on interest rates and point accumulation of gifts, part of this program. And lastly, a hypercare program to develop a service through our branches. Assist better. We developed this hypercare program through a conference call to reach all 240 branch managers and produce marketing material to help their staff understand how they can implement this. The program shows Fairstone's commitment to their local communities. Now, more on the hypercare. Hypercare means caring after the loan. We want to leverage the proximity of the locations, the lending expertise you have developed, and local relationships. These tactics, of course, take place in all of the branches, all over Canada. We could start offering free basic advice after the loan has been completed, free credit checks, follow-up calls, And we say follow-up calls because we mean continuing that relationship once it has been built with the financial expert. We then want to see local economy updates. The national economy isn't everyone's concern, but our local experts have an idea of information that could help our customers. And we use the chatbot and app that we have just developed to continue pushing notifications and getting updates on where our customers are at. And continuing this long-term commitment to our customers will ensure loyalty of past customers and also continue the referrals which we have relied on in the past. We've identified a few risks with the campaigns we've shown to you today. The first is low adoption on the mobile app, low hypercare program buy-ins from branch managers, and finally, difficulty in forming local partnerships. More on that in the Q&A. So, finally, Majed with the financials.
So let's look at how much is all this going to cost you. We've estimated a total cost of $449,000. We didn't include our fees here. But you can buy some gurus, that's fine, we'll be more than happy with that. I can take you through this in Q&A if you have any questions or any questions for implementation, but there's one specific character I want to bring back, Bob. So on his normal day, he runs into the ferry that Maria mentioned, and he gets more information about what your amazing company does. When an incident happens, he already knows about the company and he's going to go to you straight. If he goes to the bank, then you know that the bank is going to refer him to you, or he'll just come to you afterwards. But at the end of the day, if I were to summarize our strategy and everything that we've said today, and if I can leave you with one important message, is that no matter what you do, the best strategy is a consumer-focused strategy. And that's exactly what we've done today. Thank you very much, and we'll open the floors for questions.
Well, first of all, congratulations on your presentation. Really an amazing presentation. And I really like the way you've focused on what we're looking for on our side to get known in the community, and also to the awareness and the trust that we're looking for. I just would have a little question on the hypercare, because I found that's a brilliant idea. Is it kind of, I saw it a bit like an insurance, like it's after the loan, like you said. So after the loan, we come back to the client for information. Did I get it right, or?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Now, we know your focus is not advising, but this would be basic information and really to keep the relationship going. And these are local communities oftentimes, and so the branch manager would perhaps even know the people and their family. So this is simply a way to implement that relationship from Canada.
Thank you.
Thanks first of all for your great presentation. I have a question regarding the app. So phase 2, I think, so to understand the offer. I saw that the KPI for app downloads was 500 downloads in the first year. I also saw that the budget for the app is $150,000, which comes down to $3,000 per download.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, that seems a bit high. So I wanted to understand, like, why do you think it's still a good strategy to have an app developed if the cost per download will be so high?
So the 500 downloads of the app is a typo.
Okay.
But we're expecting a lot more downloads, especially with $150,000. That's just a simple typo.
Okay, thanks.
Good. It's a very good presentation. Thank you so much. And I would like to come back to the guerrilla. You said, is it a relationship or partnership with the bank? Or is it advertising outside to, you know, the customer exit to the bank and I don't have a loan, and see the crash car outside the bank, and
So it would not, sorry, I'm going to clarify that for you. So it would not be a partnership with the bank. It would kind of be teasing the bank a little bit. So saying, well, you're not willing to offer that service to these customers, but we are. So it's just going to be around or near a bank. So when the customer exits the bank, they're going to see this setup, let's say in a parking area, of a broken-in car. They're going to be intrigued. They're going to go up to it. They'll see the sign on top saying the Fairstone Ferry can fix this, or can make sure that you don't have any worries. So it's not a partnership with the bank. It's more of a setup for the consumers who are rejected by the bank.
Okay.
I'm not sure if that clarified.
Yeah. But is it another ID? Because we implemented some ID around partnership with the banks, and we roll out partnership with National Bank, and the vision around the bank for us, it's the bad guys. And do you think it's the same way you do because they see the crash car and the bad guys outside the bank? Do you know what I mean? Or?
Yes, absolutely. If I may expand a bit on that. So the important thing is how the consumers, we want to make sure that the consumers see you and see the bank the right way. That's where the guerrilla marketing came in. So unfortunately, we can't change the mind of the consumers. The bank is going to be their number one in terms of trust. So they're going to go to that. But you want to make sure you're building a healthy relationship with the bank because it's advantageous to the bank that the consumers don't end up going to payday lenders who are going to charge them double the interest rates and they're going to put them in more distress. So it helps everyone in the economy and you're building a relationship which is a win-win. That's where the ideas came from.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Great job.
For you, phase 3, gain trust from clients, talking about local partners, how do you see that relationship with local partners? You have the real estate agents and the home repair services. Like how do you see that relationship going with those guys, which obviously will be from different industries, so I guess it complicates a bit things.
Absolutely. Well, we found that there are a few services that, in an unexpected situation, individuals with low amounts of income need to spend a lot for an emergency flood, for example, broken roof. And now, when these people come to offer these services, they'll have to discuss costs and methods of payment. And we think we could help, perhaps fulfill a need for these individuals, entrepreneurs as well, help them sell more of their service. So on that end, that's what we'd be offering them.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you very much. Thank you.